This is Radio Taiwan International.
Welcome to the news on Radio Taiwan International. I'm Hannah Belinsky, coming to you from Taipei, Taiwan. We begin with a look at today's top stories for Wednesday, August 13th. Eye of Typhoon Podul passes over Taitung around midday. Taiwan and Latvia pledge closer cooperation to strengthen defense resilience. And NVIDIA CEO brokers U.S.-China chip deal, cuts tariff costs. But first, today's top story. The Central Weather Administration's land and sea warnings for Typhoon Podul remained in effect as the storm approached Taiwan. Per meteorologist Wu De-rong, residents of Taitung should be wary of heavy rainfall and strong winds as Podul makes its way through the region. The CWA reports that as of 7 a.m. Wednesday morning, the eye of the storm was approximately 150 kilometers southeast of Taitung, moving northwest to west-northwest at 30 kilometers per hour. Maximum wind speeds near the center were recorded at 155 kilometers per hour. Wu, who is an adjunct professor in National Central University's Department of Atmospheric Sciences, said that CWA's potential path forecast map for Podul indicates that after making landfall in Taitung today, it will travel to China's Fujian province tomorrow morning. It reached peak intensity prior to making landfall in Taitung, then weakened rapidly upon making contact with Taiwan's terrain. Isolated showers and thunderstorms may be experienced from Friday through next Tuesday throughout Taiwan as part of the residual effects of the storm. Foreign Minister Lin Chia-lung stated that Taiwan looks forward to collaborating closely with Latvia to strengthen whole-of-society defense resilience in the face of authoritarian threats. He emphasized the shared democratic values and similar geopolitical challenges faced by both sides. Lin made these remarks while hosting a dinner on Tuesday for a Latvian parliamentary delegation led by Ingrida Sersin, chair of the Parliamentary Taiwan Friendship Group. She is visiting Taiwan from August 10th to August 14th. Sersin last visited Taiwan a decade ago, and the other 7 lawmakers on the trip are making their first visit. Lin said the visit would help build a stronger foundation for bilateral ties and called for more frequent exchanges. At the event, Sersin reflected on Latvia's transition from authoritarian rule to democracy, noting that Russia's war in Ukraine has highlighted the dangers of authoritarian expansion. She said Taiwan-Latvia cooperation covers healthcare, social welfare, national security, defense industries, high technology, and artificial intelligence. Lin echoed these concerns, noting that authoritarian powers are showing increasing ambitions across Eurasia, highlighting peace as a shared vision between Europe and the Indo-Pacific. He said,
"Our nation will continue to work hand-in-hand with like-minded partners to address emerging security challenges jointly, and to safeguard our shared values and regional peace and stability."
Both countries face threats such as military intimidation, cognitive warfare, and disinformation, and must work together to defend the rules-based international order. The Wall Street Journal reported that NVIDIA CEO Jensen Huang has earned top-level attention in both Washington and Beijing by securing approval to export the H20 chip to China and winning tariff exemptions for semiconductor firms that build plants in the United States. With U.S. President Donald Trump's second-term team dominated by China hawks, Huang, who previously kept a low profile in Washington, has stepped up his lobbying efforts. Per the Wall Street Journal's report, he attended a dinner at Mar-a-Lago in early April, telling Trump that selling chips to China would not compromise U.S. national security, and pledging to invest $500 billion in AI plants and supercomputing facilities in the U.S. Last month, the Trump administration reversed policy to allow NVIDIA to sell its H20 artificial intelligence chip, which is designed to meet export control rules, to China. At a White House meeting a week ago, Trump asked that 20% of H20 sales revenue from China go to the federal government. Huang countered with 15%. During the meeting, Huang presented a chart showing that tariffs could undermine the goal of boosting U.S. chip production, seeking relief for the industry. Shortly afterward, Trump announced that chipmakers with U.S. plants would be exempt from the 100% semiconductor import tariff. China, in turn, lifted restrictions on certain U.S. software companies, suspended a regulatory action against NVIDIA, and signaled it hopes Huang will continue pressing in Washington for looser export controls to China. Today, Huang is a sought-after figure in both capitals, with NVIDIA's market value surpassing $4 trillion. Taiwan's economic minister J.W. Kuo's remarks about the neighborliness fees linked to the No. 3 nuclear power plant in Pingtung have drawn criticism from lawmakers. During a legislative session on Tuesday, Kuo inquired about local residents' support for extending the plant's operation, saying that financial incentives influence local approval. Opposition KMT lawmakers condemned Kuo's comment as insulting, accusing him of implying greed among residents of Hengchun. KMT legislator Su Qingquan stated that the fees, a form of compensation for hosting the plant, have long supported community development, and called Kuo's remarks, quote, inappropriate and disrespectful.
There has been a slip of the tongue which is unqualified and dismissive of the people of Pingtung and the Hengchun Peninsula. The annual compensation for the 4 townships in the Hengchun Peninsula is just over $6.7 million, while Taipower subsidizes solar power operators with $3.3 billion each year. This adds up to a total of approximately $11.7 billion so far, and yet Taipower has raised electricity rates 4 times. It's worth noting that Taipower was once profitable.
Pingtung County Magistrate Zhou Chunmi also expressed disappointment, emphasizing that residents seek safety and peace, not perks. Ruling DPP officials urged greater empathy from government officials. DPP Secretary General Rosalia Wu said Kuo seemed unaware of the purpose of the neighborliness policy and called for more sensitivity when discussing public concerns. Wu expressed frustration over frequently having to defend Kuo's statements. KMT legislator Hong Meng-kai stressed the payments are not handouts, but rather legally mandated compensation. TPP chairman Huang Guochang went further, calling Kuo a, quote, garbage minister, unfit for office. Kuo later clarified his comments on Wednesday, stating that his view was based on social science research methodology, exploring how removing subsidies might affect local opinions. When asked if he would apologize, he questioned whether his words truly constituted a gaffe. Japanese media reported that Beijing abruptly proposed postponing the Japan-China Agriculture Ministers meeting, possibly in response to Taiwan Foreign Minister Lin Chia-lung's late July visit to Japan, in what was seen as an attempt to pressure Tokyo. Chinese Minister of Agriculture and Rural Affairs Han Jun, after attending the August 11th Japan-China-South Korea Trilateral Agricultural Ministers meeting in Incheon, South Korea, had been scheduled to meet Japanese Minister of Agriculture, Forestry, and Fisheries Shinjiro Koizumi in Tokyo in August. The two were expected to sign a memorandum of cooperation aimed at preventing the overseas transfer of plant varieties developed in Japan. However, Beijing made a last-minute request to cancel the talks. The report said the move came after Lin's meetings in Japan with the former Minister for Economic Security and a member of the House of Representatives. Beijing lodged a protest with Tokyo, accusing Japan of, quote, providing a stage for anti-China separatist activities and, quote, sending the wrong message. The report added that the incident underscored China's wariness over deepening political ties between Taiwan and Japan. A senior Japanese official said the cancellation would not deter Tokyo, noting that Koizumi had already met this month with Taiwanese agriculture officials visiting South Korea. At the end of August, 10 members of the North American Taiwanese Medical Association will travel to Ukraine to once again provide free medical care to local residents and wounded soldiers. NATMA leader Dr. Tsai Rong-tsong stated that the group wishes to bring a message of encouragement to Ukraine and let the world know that they stand with Ukraine. In September 2023, NATMA members provided free medical care to wounded soldiers at a hospital in Lviv. This time, they will visit Ukraine's capital of Kyiv. The free clinic comprises 10 members, 6 from Taiwan and 4 from the United States. The physicians specialize in surgery, dentistry, and internal medicine. They arrived in Warsaw, Poland on July 26th and will proceed to Kyiv from there. The team plans to work at the local military hospital for 8 days, where they will also perform surgeries on cancer patients. Thanks for joining me for the news. I'm Hannah Belinsky. Stay tuned for another 50 minutes of English language features brought to you by Radio Taiwan International.